Okay. So in today's class, today is 13 June 2025. Today is Friday. As per my promise, I will conduct thrice of a week programming classes on different topics and different programming languages. Okay. So as I promised that I will conduct the programming classes to enhance the programming skills and English communication skills in the students throughout the world, wherever they are residing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They can connect to my classes because this is the open Zoom platform. So anybody, the link has been shared in different platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp groups. So that is a permanent link to attend my classes. Okay. So as per my promise, the programming classes will be conducted until my last breath of life under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, thrice of a week. Sharply, the classes will be conducted at 0800 p.m. in Zoom platform. Okay. So since few days, I have been teaching a game which is a game app that is a snake game. I hope that so many you might have gamed that game, experienced that game. Like this is the game, many the code, this is the game, this is this much of code written. I was briefing every line of code very patiently, very clearly. I have taken a lot of time so that the up to here, I have briefed the code up to here from starting to up to here. The code, wow, it was briefed. So I want to go from here. From here, I want to brief. From this while loop, I want to start. But if let us, that is what any doubt, some have asked that, sir. Some questions they have raised so that I need to clarify them very clearly one by one. So first of all, game. Game is what? It is two-dimensional game. Two-dimensional game. So in Python, if you want to develop a game application, so as I told you that Python will be used for different purposes. It is a general purpose programming language. It is a general purpose programming language will be used to develop different apps like your game app, web development, okay, and in artificial intelligence, Windows applications. So it can be used in OS development, game development, okay, website development. So it is general purpose language. So as I told you that, so if you want to develop any game application, first we need to import one library that is very important. Huh? That is important Pygame library. It is the game library to develop gaming application, two-dimensional gaming application Python. So it is a library. Library, I told you that a library means it has so many modules. Okay, every module is a file, single file. Every module is a single file with a .py extension. Okay. So Pygame has many files. Every file is called a module. Okay. So if your code is not executed like this, if you can run the code, you can run the game by moving the up and down arrow keys. You can you can you can move the snake. The snake is what you know. That is snake is representing what? Snake is representing with the green square, but the food is representing with the red square. So with the up, down, left, right arrow keys, you can move the snake, okay, towards the feed. as the snake reaches to the, as it tries to eat the food, the snake tries to eat the food will be randomly kept in the screen, randomly kept at a position in the screen. This is called a snake game. Whenever the snake touches the screen, so you will get a message that is called game over message. Okay. You can quit the game by press Q, by pressing of Q to quit, or if you want to continue the game again, play again C. So this is the code. This is the game. So how this Pygame created? I told you that by Pygame library, you need to import. If you are Pygame library, you are not able to. You means you are once whenever you have imported, and here in this debug window, if it shows that there is no library found, we understood that. So if Pygame, if you get a message in the debug window, there is no any Pygame library not found. That moment you need to go here and you need to install the Pygame view and the tool windows, go for terminal, and there you need to install pip install manager. By pip install manager, Pygame you need to install under this terminal. Okay. Here you need to install with the command pip install Pygame. By this pip install Pygame. Okay. Simple command. By this, if you want to install Pygame, simply type pip install Pygame and your, so it is stating that your new release of pip. Pip is what? Install manager, library install manager. If you want to, a new release of pip available. If you want to update your pip install, and you take this to update, run this command, you copy and you paste if you want to update your pip install manager. Okay, note, if you don't need to, if you don't want to update your pip install manager, no need. So if here your code is executed, your code is executed means what you know? Means your Pygame library is installed. Okay, so don't worry. I told you that Pygame is a library which is having so many files. Every file is a called a module. Every file which is stored with .py extension is called a module. And the Pygame library, it has so many modules, means so many files. Every file code, some code you have written and stored with a name, .py extension. Now that is called a file and it is called also called a module. And then why I have written this code? If I want to know the check back that whether this Pygame is a library module, print type. By this type function, we can find out this Pygame is a library module. Next, import time. This is a module, not library. Okay, used for time related function. Already I have briefed. So by type function, I can check back that time is a module or library. Import random. Random is a module. The random module mostly used, as I told you, that this one by one in the previous class I have explained, Pygame library mostly used for to create the game window. This Pygame library, this import command. By this import command, Pygame library modules can be imported. Okay. So Pygame library used to create the game window. Used to create the game window. This is the game window. The window, see here, the window has a close button, a minimize button. Okay, minimize. This is the minimize button. This is the close button. Maximize, because there is no any permission was not given to maximize the screen window. So this Pygame, this command, Pygame library, import Pygame library, what it does, this command, what it does, so it is Pygame library used to create the game window and handle the key events, drawing, etc. And what is the use of this time module? Time module, it is not directly used, but it is useful for delays if needed. Means the time module, it is not directly used in this game, but it is so useful whenever you need some delay in the game. Random is a module. So random module used to place the food at different positions randomly. See here. So here, so this module, random module used to place the food at different positions randomly throughout the screen. So whenever the snake reaches to the food, it reaches to the, as the snake reaches to the food will be kept randomly at different positions throughout the screen. Understood that? So now see, as the snake reaches to the, so now it is randomly kept somewhere else, randomly, because this random module, what it does, it generate a random position with x coordinates and y coordinates, a pair of coordinates. Okay, so that is the use of random module. So random module used to what purpose? It is used to place the food at random positions throughout the screen. Random, anywhere, randomly. It will be kept randomly. Yeah, okay. It is not kept as per your decision, my decision. That will that decision will be taken by the this module. Which module? This random module. Because this random module generate a place, a number. So with XY coordinates, a pair of coordinates will be generated, and accordingly the snake, this game, the food, its place means where it is kept in the screen window. One x-axis x value and one y value. So xy value, accordingly xy value, as per that xy value, a pair of xy coordinates value, and as per that randomly generated xy coordinate, pair of coordinates means it is a number. So accordingly, the food will be kept whenever you try to move. Whenever you try to now, the food is kept randomly somewhere else. Here, as per one random xy z, x coordinate, y coordinate. So this one library is very important. Time module, it is not directly is being used in this game, but it can be used if any you want to keep any delay in the game, delay related functions. So these some modules, and this code is very important to initialize to start the modules of Pygame. So you don't confuse yourself. If you want to write this total code, very simple. Okay. If you want to erase this total code, you erase this one. You write the code. If you run this code, what happened? If you run this code, see, you will you will get you will get a error here. One error is what? See, what is that? Some pygame.init to start modules of Pygame. So So Pygame.init name Pygame is not defined. Where is this Pygame? It is a library, but you have not imported. What happened here? See here. So your Python interpreter, what it in this debug window, the Python interpreter, this is the debug window. This is the this is the code window where the cursor is blinking. This is the code window where I can write the code, edit the code, and compile the code. So whenever I run the code, so Python interpreter, translator, Python has the internal translator program. What it does, if every line of code you have written properly, so the code will be executed and you will get the result. But whenever this type of in the debug window, if you are getting like this type of statements, you need to study them very carefully, and then you need to try to understand actually what the interpreter is stating. Here, interpreter, what it is state, this is the error. You need to find out that where is the error. This is the name error. So out of all the line of coding, this is, and it will indicate one marker. And that marker, you need to check back actually where is this? This is the marker under this Pygame. So name error, name Pygame is not defined. It means what? You have not defined Pygame because you want to start a function, this init function here, this function is part of this Pygame library to start modules. Whatever the modules we need to require to run the create the game window. So that function is part of Pygame, but you have not imported. The Pygame is not defined, means this library is not imported. Okay. So you need to write that code. What first, as I told you, that import. This is the main command. Import. Then what I want to import? Pygame. This is the simply whenever you type Pygame, it is a library. PyDoc, PyCLBR. These are somewhat Python related libraries, modules like so. We need a Pygame library. Okay. So I told you that you can comment here simply for your reference, class reference. It is a module library. Library, I told you that library have many, many modules. Okay, next. So I told you that library have many modules. Every module comment here, module, every module is a file. Is a every module stored as a file, with the .py extension. .py extension. Okay. So every module means some code you have written and the code stored as a file. File means somewhat name and with the .py extension. Now it becomes a module. So this Pygame library, whenever it is called as a library, if it is have many files, understood that. Next, one more command I need to import here, time. Understood? Time is a module. So see here, whenever Pygame, so Pygame, this is not module. This is library. This symbol indicates what you know. This symbol indicates what you know. There is a library. What about this? This is a module, game module, time module. This is a library. So time. Time is what? Import time. So time is a module here. Okay. Now comment here. This is not a library. It is a module. It is a file. Part of your library. Import Pygame. Okay. Next, one more module. That is, you need what? Import random. What is the, this is the C, random. Whenever you type here R, A, random, you will see all these are modules. Random, underscore random, array, trace, operator, anti-gravity fractions, graph live. These are all modules. Modules means every module stored with a py.py extension. It is a file. Okay. Some code you have written and stored with a name means name as a file with a .py extension. So random. So what is the use of this random? It is a module. This module used for random positions. So to create random positions, this module used to create random positions whenever the snake reaches to the food, whenever snake wants to eat the food, so one random number will be, pair of numbers will be generated. So the food will be kept randomly at that position, XY coordinates. Now, whenever you run this code, see, your code will be executed. No, this type of Pygame not defined, this type of message you will not get because you have imported your game is your game is running. Now run the game. Snake is moving. So what we have missed now see the food kept at different positions. Random position is not a different position. It is a random position. It is random position. Okay. That random position will be generated by this random one. To generate the random positions for the food. Whom this random module generate the positions. Module use it to generate random positions. Use it to generate random positions. So only three modes. Import, this is the module. It is not, we are not directly using here. Even though if you don't want to use this module, you keep comment here. Only one library, Pygame library, one random module. Without this random module, this uh, without this random module, the food that will not be kept at different positions. If you want to see practically, you keep this module also. Comment. Now run this code. Now just I have kept time module under comment because I am not using the time module directly in the game. Still, my game will be executed. I can use my game without time module. Time module, what is the role of time module? It will be used to delay any function. Okay, if I want to delay in the game. Okay. Without this time mod, now time module is I am using here, not I am not using. Okay, time module, even the time module kept under comment. Still, I am able to run the game, but without this random module, what happened? Random module, as I told you that random module use it to generate random positions so that if you run the screen, if you run this code, see, random is not defined. So in the code, you have whenever food, how to shift the food under this code, where this. So food position, the code written for food position, this is the code. Food according to x-axis, food and along with x-axis, food along with y-axis, y coordinates, x coordinates. I told you that for to create a random position, through along with x-axis, y-axis, a pair of random numbers will be generated by this random module. So here, this is the random module you have used in the code, but you have not imported. You have imported, but you have kept the random module under comment. That's why under debug window, it is stating your Python interpreter name error. Name error always what means that random module not defined. In the code, you have mentioned the random module to food positions you want to if you want to generate the food positions as XY coordinates. So here random module you have used, but you have not imported. You have imported, you have mentioned it under comment. That's why. So if you remove this, you need this module random. So run this code one more time. You are able to run the game. You are able to run the game. You can run this game. So without time module, just I have mentioned here, but without this time module, as I told you, this is for what purpose? To delay the game. If you want to delay the game, okay? But it is not directly used, so I have kept. It is up to you if you want to keep it under comment. There is no issue. But this library very compulsory and random module is compulsory because Pygame library you have used in next command code and this init function we are using that is part of this library to start the all modules of Pygame. So let us see what happened here, how to write this code. You need to write this code, what simple. There is no any after importing two line command. One is a library you have imported, then random a module. Next command to you want to initialize, you want to start all the modules of your library. Not all, to start some modules which are needy for this game. One is that this random module, some modules like what window module, time module, and some modules which are what window module, that is what time. This function window module, sound, okay. But here in this game, I have not utilized the sound. But in further, if I want to improve the coding, so I can use that. Okay. So it is init function. What it does? So this code init is a function part of this Pygame library to initialize to start the modules. So how to write the code? Simple Pygame. This is a library. Whenever you keep dot operator, you will get all the variables. I told you that this is a module, font module. This is a variable V. F means function. M means module. Okay, V variable. So here, which type of function? Init function. I want to use this init function. Same. Okay. Very simple, huh? To write the code. So no need to write two codes. Just I want to explain how to write after importing of your Pygame library and one more command, a random module import. Next to initialize, to start, initialize means start modules of Pygame library. I told you that Pygame has different, so many modules. Every module is a file with a .py extension. So now remove this code. Just I want to show that how to write the code for you. Okay. Next. Okay. Now this is what this if you want to know that this Pygame is a library module, if you want to know that, you can write a command here, print type. Print is a function. Inside of this, one more function you can use and mention here Pygame. So what happened here? By this type function, we can, by this type again function, we can we can find that whether this Pygame is a library as module. And print function used already, the print function used to display the result. So now this code, whenever you run this code, so in the debug window, code will be executed. Also in the debug window, this is they are stating Pygame is a module, but actually Pygame is a library. They have so many modules. Okay. Next is what? So that is what time module. How the time module can be used to delay the functions. The code I told you that time module has a function, sleep function, time functions, current time functions. By that functions, sleep. If you want to sleep the game for somewhat time, 100 microseconds. By the sleep function, we can mention how much of time you want to delay the game. Okay. Now, next code, if you don't need this, just I have commented here. Okay. The time, where is the time or this time module has different functions. How can you know that? Simply you type time dot. These are all time related module. Whatever the time module has time function. This is one class. C means class. All these F means functions, V means variable. Okay. Some variable time has a variable, it has a function, so many functions. I told you that what is the difference between function and methods in the previous classes. The function will be defined without a class independently, but method must be defined under a class. That is the difference. So time has, whenever you keep dot operator, you will get all the functions, variables of this time module. So here, if I want to use sleep, sleep is a function. Sleep, see how simply you write SL, sleep. So this function, so it is a function. Whenever you get these brackets, parentheses, means it's a function. Inside of this, you can keep any parameter, any value. Okay, that is a parameter. Any value means numbers. So how many seconds, a microseconds, if you want to delay the game, you want to sleep the game like this. Okay. Okay. Now 1,000 microseconds. So you run this game. What happened here? See, run. What is happening here? Okay. You have given sleep time. So game not executed when it is after 1,000 seconds, minutes. So then your game will be executed. Still game not executed because you have given times sleep. Game will be delayed. 100 seconds, minutes. So game not executed here, huh? Delayed. So if you run 10, okay. If you kept 10 seconds, now run this code again. So see, now your game not executed, but after some time, so after some time, so it is to be game to be executed. No, it is executed. See. So delay time you have given here, some 10 seconds. 10 seconds I have given. After 10 seconds, the game will be executed. If you, this sleep is a function of time module imported here. Pygame import time, import Pygame library. So understood that first library and then module random before this uh, module. Okay, some import time. So now what? So this from here to here, the code written forward to set up the window, to set up the window. So this is what 100,000 pixels, 1,000 pixels width, height. These are two variables. You can keep any variable. Many students have asked me that, sir, what with the height, you can keep any another name. You, as per your name, desire, you can keep XY, X comma Y. But what do you mean of this? What is the meaning of this XY? There is no any meaning. So whenever any variable you want to create, so a meaningful some purpose. What the purpose? What is this? Screen width. Screen, this is from here to here. This end. This end to from this end to this end is the width. This is from here to down. From top to bottom is the height. So this is screen size. 1,000 by 1,000. So X, there is no meaning. So generally what we will call here, this from left to right, this is width. From top to bottom, generally in terms, we will call this height. So general, the terms, you use the terms, width, comma, height. Okay. So what is the width, height, pixels? So if I remove 100 by 100, so your screen size will be decreased. Run this code, your screen size will be decreased. So how much of screen size? Where is the screen size? Now the screen size is, see, why it is delay? Because here you have kept time sleep 10. So this is your screen size. Within the screen size, whether can you play the game within this screen size? If you run the game, whenever it touches the screen edge, the game will be ended. Okay, if you want to run the game again, press C. So while you move the snake with your up, down keys and the arrow keys, right, left and right keys, yes, this touch, whenever it touches the, so it is very difficult to play the game. So you need very lengthy screen. So for that you need to increase this. At least you need to give somewhat size, 500 pixels width, 500 pixels length. Run this code. So see, delay you have given so that game will not be displayed directly. It will give somewhat, take somewhat time. Time delay is the time delay. So screen is looking what, but these controls of the close button, minimize button, and maximize. There's no any maximize. It is maximize button is not there. So if you want to give permission to maximize this, okay, why this is not maximizing? Okay, we will check back that. Okay, that's when it so as you give less pixels, the screen you will get less screen size, less screen size. So if you want to run the game, you need a big screen. So accordingly, you need to set up the screen with the pixels. Okay, understood that. So that these are two variables, width and height created. variables created and values are assigned for that variables. So now simple code, as I told you that one library that is to be Pygame library import, that is very important. Time is not, that is up to you whether you want to delay the game, and random is compulsory. Without the random, that food position can't be generated randomly. This is very important to initialize all the modules which are related for the game, okay, which are needful modules will be run. Start by this init function. Sleep, you want to sleep, you want to delay the game. If you don't want, keep that code. There is no any problem. This is very compulsory. Window size, you that is very important. Window size is very window size is very important. Huh? Next, next what? Once two variables are created, these two variables, they need to be, these two variables, width, height, these two variables, they need to be passed to a, this Pygame library has a class display and the class has a function set underscore mode function. For that function, you need to pass these two variables as parameters. Okay. Pygame, if you need to pass these two variables as a parameters to this set underscore mode. How should you know that? See, Pygame, see how to write the code. So Pygame, take Pygame is a library dot what, dot what, which class you want to take. Because see, Pygame is a library that has a module. This is display module. This display module, we will take display module. I told you that the display module has a function. What function? Set underscore mode. So within this mode, I need to pass this variable and this variable as parameters. Every function, the function can be defined with variables, means as parameter. It is up to you whether you want to pass any parameter. Here, I want to pass width, comma, height. Already I have defined. Width is equal to 500, height is equal to 500. Okay. Now, if you run this code, there is no any problem. Your code will be executed. Okay. Size must be two numbers. Size must be display. What is the problem here? Size. So if you keep one bracket here, okay, now you run this code. So what is the generally, as I told you, that this set underscore mode is a function which will be used, that is part of this display module. As per that syntax, you need to pass the values. How, let us see. See this moment what happened, why it is error. See, you have write the code, but you need to check back that in your window. That is debug window. Debug means your code will be checked, and if errors are there, they will be displayed in this debug window. Here, see, this is the marking. This word is being marked here. Marking means this screen name error. Here also name error. The screen is not defined. Did you mean green screen? Why? Because in the next code, in the programming, for your flexibility, for your convenience, if I want to call this code in further coding, if I want to call this much of code again, so I need not to write this much all code again and again. No need to write. Simply this total code, if it is stored in a variable, because screen, okay, this is what variable created, screen related. This is screen related. So this total code stored in the screen. So that screen is used where next code where I have used, because I don't want to use this length up to here. I don't want to use here. Just this code stored in a variable. In further, I will use this screen. So where is this error? Name screen is not defined. That is screen dot fill black. Screen dot fill black means screen dot fill black. Mm, screen dot fill black. Here, this is okay. Here, screen is what? Screen means you have created a variable everywhere. Here also screen dot blit. So means this code from here to here, I have used in the code, I have used in the code with this screen variable, because this total code in further will be called with screen. So how many places I have used here? One place screen. Here I need not to write that lengthy code. Just that code will be which is related with the means pygame dot display dot set underscore mode with the height. The total code, this pygame dot display, pygame is a library, display is a module that has a function dot set underscore mode. I told you that whenever if you keep dot operator, you will get functions. F means function, set underscore mode. Update is a function. Set underscore caption is a function. This set underscore caption, I have used it here to keep a name for the game, to set a name for the game. So this function I have used set underscore. Now this total code stored in this variable screen. So in next code, wherever if I want to use the total code, no need, just I will use that variable screen. Okay. How many places I have used screen here? One more place. I have used here also screen I have. Means the code used with the name screen. Okay. That is okay. Leave it that. Now next word. Okay. Next one. I want to keep a caption to this game. Where is that game? Run. I want to keep a caption for that game. That is what snake game. This snake game, whatever the text, whatever the, it is a string. You know that in Python, string will be kept under double quotation marks or single quotation. It is the double quotation marks. This is a image. You download the image because it is snake related. So you download, otherwise you create a image and you keep there. Now this string value kept. So snake game, you will get snake game. Here, if you change here, the name as per if you change any name, that will be displayed here. Snake game. If you write here animal game, animal game. So whenever you run this code, run Alt Shift, you don't need to go again and again this main bar, main bar. Okay, here you can use this short command, Alt Shift. I want to. So what is happening here? As I stated that game, I was explaining the game. That moment, giving a name to the game. Okay, that is what display. We need to give a name for the game caption. Set underscore caption animal game. So you will see animal game on the screen where any snake game. Now this is the previous name snake game. So you want to see the animal game as a name caption, you need to run this code again. Okay, and see, you're seeing what animal game. Okay, so by this set underscore caption function, set underscore mode function, we can set up the window screen, window size, and the caption up to this code. Okay, these three lines of code. Very easy. These three lines of code, very easy. Okay, very easy code. Simple one. Import Pygame one line. This is no need. Just okay. Next, import random module, time module, two lines of code. Three lines, Pygame init function to start modules. Three lines. Now three lines of code to set up the screen size. How? See, I want to erase this total code. Okay. I want to remove this total code. See, if this capture, you catch, because I want to delete this, copy this. Okay, because then I want to paste this snake. Okay. Now here you delete this total code. Now you run this code. If you run, you will get error. See, run snake. Previous game will be stopped. See, here errors, so many errors you will find. How many errors? Total here, one marking width. Because you have not defined width, screen width. Okay. One marking is there. Name width, name error. Means that variable width. So Python interpreter, it is not able to find that width variable. That width is what? Width is somewhat pixels. So it is name variable. So now we need to define that. Where here. Okay. First, next, come here. So suppose size you want to give 750, comma 750. This is what pixel size, screen size. Now, these two values you need to store in variables, create variables, x, comma, y value. But problem, I told you that many times, whenever you want to create the variable, suitable names. Suitable means actually what this value represents what? This is screen size. Everywhere screen size will be mentioned with the names of width, height. So this is, you change this variable as width. Okay. Width This y variable change this as height. Okay. Now what happened? Two variables you have created with height and values are assigned. Now, now what? Now these two variables I want to assign as a parameters for what I told you that display. Screen is called display. In Python Pygame library, display is a module which will be used for screen window to set up the screen. So you can comment here to set up window, window, okay? Yeah, display, window or display. Okay, now, so accordingly what you write the code here. First, we need to take Pygame. Pygame what? This is a library dot. To work with window to set up the display, we need to use display. Simply Pygame.display. Pygame is a library. That library has a display module. Okay, display. And then that module, it is a file, single .py extension file. It has a function. Again, keep dot operator. Set underscore. This function we need to use to set up the size. Size. Now here, both pass these values. Window, width, comma, height. Okay. Now, I told you that in further, if you want to use this code again and again, you need to write this lengthy code. This code, total code represents what? Screen. So create a variable and store this code in a variable so that in further screen. I told you that suitable name screen screen. So that is what Pygame dot display dot function set underscore mode width comma width is a variable because whenever you have created a variable that will be displayed here width comma if you simply type height h you will get this variable height. Okay, now this total code from here to here stored in this screen variable because in further I have used it in this code in as a screen. Okay, next I want to set up the that is what I want to set up the screen window name. I want to give a name for that window. Pygame dot again display Pygame dot display dot set caption. This set caption title to set up the title. So I told you that the title must be kept in single quotation or double quotation marks as a string. So one that is what my image for game, snake image. And that is what your snake game. This much of code I have written. No need to worry. Huh? Now code is over. See, now you are getting this error. Na? Name width is not defined. Width I have defined. So if you run this code, your code will be executed. Still error. Why? What is the problem? Screen pygame dot set underscore screen. No issue. Size must be two numbers. So here we need to keep two numbers means one more bracket. Now run this code. This is okay. So how much of code we have written? Very simple. See, from here imported Pygame library, this second code, one module imported initial to initiate the modules of Pygame function, init function used, screen set to set up window, 3 lines of code, 3 lines of code to set up the screen. Next, colors. How to provide the colors for the snake, green color, otherwise blue color, yellow color. But here we can provide only green, red, blue. Why? Because this is RGB tuple. Tuple set of values. Tuple is what? Set of values. R means red, green means green, B means blue. So to set up these values, this is called RGB tuple. How? See what happened here. Black. That is what screen size black. Screen is totally black. So if you R means red, R means red, 0, green means 0, blue means 0. Whenever you keep all these are 0, 0, 0, so you will get black screen, black screen. If you keep all of them as 255 maximum values, 255 maximum values, then you will get the screen as white screen. This back, you will get this back black screen as white because we have given max values. The values can be assigned as minimum 0 value, otherwise max value. So before this screen is black, that's why I have created a variable black and these values stored in this variable black. Now your screen size, whenever you do max colors, max values, so you will get the white screen here. So run this code, your previous code, stop the previous code. See what happened here. Your screen size, your screen is looking with white. So why? So that moment you need to say, you need to store this total code in white. You create a variable white is a variable and this color setups stored in this variable white. But game is not looking well. Why? Because the movement of the snake is not looking in the white playground. The snake is looking very dim. So if the background is black color, so generally that will be very useful. So if you want to set up the game background color, all the values set up means this is blue, 0, this is green, 0 minimum value, R, this is the R value, 0. Now red, 0 minimum value, green, this is the green, B means blue, 0. So now what happened? You have assigned 0 values to this RGB tuple. Now that will be what? You will get black color. So create a variable here, black. Now you run this code, stop the previous game. You are getting black color. So, okay. Now, remaining is what? Snake color you need to assign. This is for snake is what? If you want to green color. So we need to green value as maximize and red 0, blue 0. If you want to keep game as blue color, you keep this green as 0 and keep this two blue as 250 max value. Now you will get this snake color as what? Blue color. Now your snake is what? Blue color. Understood that? Your snake is what? Okay. So now see. So your snake is green. So keep this green as 255. This as blue as 0. Okay. Now this is green. Okay. Now red. Red is what? Food. So keep red R 255 max value and green blue 0. So now understood that. Next word code, the very simple code. Huh? So if you want to run this code, you run this code. You run this code. The code, the, the food is not moving. The food is not moving. What happened here? So time module I have opened. Time module I have opened. It was under comment. Why? Because this what happened? The food it is not moving. The food is not moving. So there is a problem in the code. So we need to check back. Where is the code? Where is the error? Huh?